I think the reason why I support indies a whole lot more nowadays, besides, getting myself off a dead IPA plantation, is because, like Mr. Clausen just pointed out on the Twitter twatters, Instagram became a storefront, Twitter becomes an old Instagram. If it wasn't clear to you that lame social media's intent was to program you into becoming a docile, degenerate consumer, with the two O's there, within a 5-second attention span, maybe a hatchet blow to your smooth brain might help. Yes, it's a blunt yet wise. A good combination, methinks. Um, the thing of it is like, no matter how much you support something, if they're just using that money to just do kind of like grifting and, you know, propping up the new experiments within their IP that don't really pan out, it's like, why pay them for the privilege of destroying your icons or even the aspirational or anything else? I mean, it just boggles my mind at least part of the time. But then I go back to my one review about Mr. Niemeyer's book about, stop giving money to people who hate you. Uh, it took me a while to get off that whole plantation. Um, it takes a lot because like I had the mindset of like, well, maybe if I support this instead of that within this IP umbrella, they'll course correct and give me what I want. No, that didn't happen. It didn't happen with Mass Effect 3. Not really, because to use Mass Effect 3's ending as an example, they listened to some feedback and then they implemented the stuff that was easiest to kind of like throw a bone to. And to be fair, um, part of me at the time was like I'll do, what, I'll accept anything provided they fix this clusterfuck of an ending. And ultimately, I don't see the ending as the actual ending. The Citadel DLC gave a bunch of fan service, but the thing is, it would only put a tourniquet over the gaping wound that was the ending to Mass Effect 3's bullshit. The reason why I keep going back to that is because, you know what? In a way, Mass Effect taught me what not to do when writing. See, when I'm at work, like sometimes I'll think of other little details to put in the books and uplift stuff. And at one point, I was like, man, this would be good. This would be a good portion to do for the, like, as the ending kicks in and kind of like the what do you call it, the denouncement or something, where everything starts tapering off and closing down. It's like that would be a good thing to add into that, because I already have a very solid notion of what this ending is going to be, and that's what I'm ultimately working towards. So, to get back with Mass Effect 3, yeah, if you don't plot out the whole thing in advance in terms of just the big brushstrokes, like, yes, Mass Effect 1, basically, Shepard investigates the threat of the Reapers to counterbalance what the Citadel Council was saying. Like, oh, there's no such thing as Reapers, that sort of thing. They're a myth. That's the basic setup of the first part. The second game, it's daddy issues. The reckoning, basically for some reason all your crewmates have some sort of big earth-shattering issue that you have to solve, but it's kind of like collect your teammates and then go on the suicide mission. But the Reapers really didn't factor in much on that stuff until the DLC added, Harbinger's smarmy ass coming back to basically smack talk with you. But that just showed me, like, between 1 and 2, it's like, wait, they don't really have an overall arc to go through. And then when 3 hit, and then, the rumors about, like, the dark matter kind of, like the Reapers were killing off people so that we wouldn't use the dark matter to basically fuck up the universe. Like that's a underpinning that they could have kept, but they got rid of Drew Karpyshyn. And the thing is, they really, yeah, they didn't have a set act for each game in terms of tying it into each other. It was like having 3 separate episodes that were just loosely tied together because of setting and characters and things like that. And the Mass Effect 3 original ending was like the ultimate kick to the groin. No matter if you're a man or a woman, it was just like, wow, that was a cluster punch down there. Like, what the oh, God. It was so downer. And it's like, it wasn't even earn your stupid ending kind of thing. It was just complete horrific victory. It's like, here's your three colored coded death scene. Bye. Oh, oh shit. So yeah, that's very important when it comes to stories. It's like, look how really bad stories are constructed, and you'll start to see this once you start writing. And it over the next couple of months, you'll see like, oh, this is how this writer linked this together. Just look at how really badly paid off stories work. Then you'll realize how people became disappointed and why certain plot threads didn't work together too well. And it's also sometimes vital, like, you don't have to go into extreme detail on how the big bad works. Sometimes the big bad is just a cosmic monstrosity of force of nature that you'll just have to apply, equal or greater force to it to break it apart. You can come up with a few quips on how you do it, but sometimes you just don't have to go into detail on how you slay the dragon just to know that the dragon is slayed. There it is. There you go. Oh God, freaking Mass Effect. And what's sad is it did have a lot of space opera tropes I enjoyed, but again, you have to somehow get yourself away from the IPs, because they want to get you in on the nostalgia factor. Uh, DC wants to get me back by profiting up some Superman titles that aren't infected by Bendis, like out of continuity. Like, oh, see here, we can give you the Superman you enjoyed again. Well, here, you might not be able to see it here, but here's finger number 1, and here's finger number 2. Go die in a fire, DC Comics, because you are doing that right now. It sucks for the fans that are still hanging on to you, and they're hoping that you'll do a switch around and care about your characters again. But sometimes that happens when, you know, everything becomes too long in the tooth also. You don't always have to reinvent a character all the time. You can basically do have out of continuity stuff. They had the Elseworld stuff. They could experiment with their iconic heroes that way. Just put it in a test bed, and then if somebody likes that out of continuity adventure, then they like it. But it's just a whole mishmash of yeah. And when it comes down to it, the readers and writers and everybody else that is jumping in and trying to add their own 2 cents to things, we have to offer alternative entertainment, something that brings back the heroic, something that doesn't denigrate men for doing manly things or denigrate women for doing womanly things. To realize that people bring different things to the table, the overall skills and contributions of people will be vastly different. Based on biology, based on other factors, based on how you're raised and everything. So when it comes to entertainment, you're going to have people put their money where their mouth is. You're going to have them step up to the plate and be a counterweight to whatever is currently deconstructing stuff you don't want it to, or moving things towards particular tropes or wheelhouses that you're not interested in. You have to get out there and offer something different. And I know it's like an uphill battle because most people on YouTube, they get the most instant gratification clicks and everything else from complaining about whatever Dead IP Land is doing. I see it all the time on my timeline. It's just like, you know what? If you want your boob armor, make it. If you want your field of dreams, make it. You have to just dig in and do it, because nobody else is really going to sit up and do it unless you do it. And then more people will join you, and more people, and more. In many cases, even my channel it's been slow growth, but it's been growth. I don't expect it to explode overnight. That's not the point of this channel. I just want to explore things I enjoy and offer people a counterbalance to stuff I don't find as engaging. Again, like the Watchmen's of the world and stuff like that. there's plenty of people that will talk about that ad nauseum, and there's plenty of people that will talk about, the Stephen Kings, the J.K. Rowlings, the Brandon Sandersons, the God, what else do I see mostly on BookTube? Like the Sarah J. Mosses, all the endless sea of like young adult books, which really they're not young adult books. They're aimed at women my age, like I've said before. So there you have it, people. It's just sometimes you'll have to go with the slow growth over the instant gratification. It will happen. You'll get people behind you. That's the reason why, even though I'm back and forth on some of my social media stuff, it's because I'm pretty much nose to the grindstone. I'm just writing, writing, writing because I want to get Uplift Protocol done, and I want to get it done within the next 2 years. It's already like, shoot, again, if you had asked me last year, I would have almost 2 books done in about 8 months. I would be laughing. I'd be like, how? How did I manage to do that? One, piss and vinegar at the whole entertainment industry for not basically throwing me a bone every once in a while to the aspirational wheelhouse. Two, uh, Bendis and other hacks like him should have just retired. There's just a time where you have to hang up your frickin' cape, man. Sometimes if you just keep going, you end up becoming a word zombie, and that's what Bendis is. And then three, I had to follow my own example and just like, if it's not there, make it. Build it, and they will come. Have a good day, everybody.